Welcome to the Sunday morning worship service at DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Nell Hazlitt and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. Unitarian Universalism is a faith tradition committed to creating a just and flourishing world for all people. Our Universalist theology tells us that every person is worthy of love. Thus, when we say, whoever you are, wherever you are in life's journey, you are welcome here. This is our message of love to you, inviting your whole self into this space to help us co-create a world centered on our values. We invite you to learn more about us and consider joining this community to enact our values of equity, justice, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. Now, if you are online, I invite you to greet each other through the chat, and if you are present here, I invite you to turn to someone you did not come with and greet them with a wave and a good morning greeting.
We light our chalice for the center of our faith, love. The love that we tend to is not weak or anemic. It is mighty and gentle. It is righteous anger and kind graciousness. It is a love birthed in the fires of a tradition rooted in justice and strives to bend the moral arc of the universe so that someday we may find a true, beloved community.
On this, the fourth week of Advent, we first relight the candle for hope. Hope is an active practice, not guaranteed, but rather a seed we tend to in our hearts. Our second candles we lit for peace. In a world of conflict and strife, peace is one of the many things we hope for and one of the many things that calls for our active participation.
Our third candle is relit for joy. Joy is not empty or hollow. It is the thrill of the first snowflake, the wonder of the holiday season, the spark in a young child's eyes. This week, we light the candle of love. This is love of the highest order, calling us to our best selves.
The love of God within us does not come from mere feeling or sentimental fluff. Love cannot be imposed from on high. Love is our greatest commandment, tending tenderly to God, to others, and to self.
The love of God with us is love in action. There are some radical love practices. One, redistribution of resources and risks. Two, solidarity with those most exposed to threat. Three, hospitality to refugees, migrants, and sojourners. And finally, four, radical love practices caring for those who've been taught to despise and fear. This love is fierce, yet tender. It defies unjust rules and flattens hierarchies of value. The love of God within us is collective, liberating us from deadly alienation. Love is gestating in darkness. It comes unexpectedly. Love invites our expectation and demands our participation. Prepare the way for love infleshed. May love be birthed among, within, and through us this Advent season.
To our church for our holiday pageant service. We're happy to see all of your shining, joyful faces, and maybe some Christmas is almost here faces. I am Reverend Mandy Huizinga, minister of this church.
I am Steve Cooper, the director of religious education of our church. Today, we're going to share the story of the birth of Jesus. We call it the Nativity, from the Gospels of Luke and Matthew. Today, we are not just going to reread the story of the Nativity or retell it. We are going to relive it as we experience what it means to be a people of wonder.
You may ask, why do we celebrate the Nativity? Most of us do not believe that Jesus was a deity. Most probably do not believe in angels or the virgin birth. True, but we believe in songs which are born in the hearts and minds of people. We believe that some stories deserve to live forever because of what they tell us of ourselves. The angels singing an anthem of peace and goodwill deserve to be heard forever because they are the angels of human hearts. The humble shepherds who had ears to hear and hearts to receive a message of joy deserve to live to the end of time. The wise people so faithfully seeking the way of a star deserve to go in search again each year, for they are the story of our quest for ourselves.
Rather than just hearing or watching the story, we're going to get inside of it and make it our own story as much as possible. This, of course, depends entirely on everyone's goodwill and cooperation. Many of you, we hope, will take part in the story and help us to see and experience this familiar, beloved tale in a new way, as if we were actually present within the story, as if it were happening right here and right now, as if we had never heard this story before.
Although nativity drawings and paintings existed earlier, St. Francis of Assisi celebrated Christmas by setting up the first known three-dimensional nativity scene around the year 1220. He used real animals to create a living scene so that the worshipers could contemplate the birth of the child Jesus in a direct way, making use of the senses, especially sight, and experiencing wonder. I bet there was some smells there too. He only used a straw-filled feeding trough set between a real ox and donkey. It was beautiful in its simplicity, with the manger acting as the altar for Christmas Mass.
Our nativity scene will be a bit more elaborate, but without the smells. We are going to read the story, which has been slightly modified, but we will all recognize the familiar characters and the familiar plot of the ancient story. Several times during the story, we will pause and ask for volunteers to play some of the parts in the story. If you wish to be in the story, raise your hand when we ask for volunteers. And when we call on you, our stage managers will invite you to go over to the costume area where we have a stage crew to help you with your costumes.
No matter if you come up to our dais or not, everyone is a participant in this service, for witnessing its creation is as vital as playing a part in it. Steve and I will be narrating this story, and you'll have to excuse me, I'm recovering from a head cold, so I've got lots of water, and if I need help, I will let you all know. We will be pointing to people who have raised their hands. We'll send them to the costume area. The Youth Religious Education Committee oversees costumes. Thank you, Youth RE team. And we'll get everyone robed for the right parts. Once costume, our stage manager, I think that's you, Laura, right? Woohoo! Will help steer you in the right direction for your position in the nativity scene.
The stage manager will help you find the place where you are to go and tell you what to do next. As the story is being read, listen carefully, and you will also hear some directions about what you are to do. All you must do, volunteers, is listen to the stage manager's direction and to the directions you hear in the story. Don't worry about mistakes. There are no mistakes. And if the little ones with you can't see the stage area, go ahead and situate yourselves so you can. Remember that we want everybody to hear and see the story. And if you need to, you can gently remind those around you that we all want to listen and see the story. The story is a beautiful and meaningful one, and we are here to be moved and awed by it once again. But we are also here to have fun. So, let the story begin.
We bring to you this morning
Wait,
the
interlude.
ancient...
Interlude.
Sorry. In a moment. To you this morning, the ancient story of the Nativity, the story of the birth of Jesus. listen to and watch the story as if for the very first time. Imagine that you've never heard this story before.
Imagine that this ancient story is really happening right here and right now in our sanctuary.
Imagine, after years and years of hearing stories about women and men and people of all genders bowing down before powerful kings and emperors and dictators and chieftains and tyrants, you finally hear a story in which powerful, wise kings and queens and shepherds alike kneel down before one tiny newborn child.
Imagine that after hearing so many stories about terrible wars, about persecutions and ethnic cleansings, you hear the friendly story of a birth, the story of a humble carpenter and his wife, the baby that is born to them in a stable, shepherds in a starlit field who leave their sheep to go and see the newborn child, and gentle animals who gather round in the stable where the baby lies in a manger.
Imagine that in this story, all the people are longing for peace on earth and goodwill to all people everywhere.
Imagine that as you are hearing for the first time a story that questions the power of large armies and great wealth.
Imagine that you hear a story that talks about the transforming power of love instead of the transforming power of the military.
Imagine, if you can, a day in the future when people will really believe this story, will really believe that love is more powerful than war, that poor, humble people are just as important and just as powerful as the most famous and powerful rulers.
Listen carefully now, because that's the story we are about to hear. Let us begin.
First, we need the Emperor Caesar. In those days, long, long ago, 2,000 years ago, a decree went out from the Emperor Caesar Augustus saying,
"In those days, and all the world should be registered so they can pay taxes to me."
All the people were required to go to the city or town where they had been born to register. For some people, that meant a long journey.
Joseph, a carpenter, had to go all the way from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to the city of David that was called Bethlehem, the same village of Bethlehem that is still here today. Joseph went to be registered with Mary, the woman he was planning to marry.
Joseph and Mary had to travel a long way, and they knew it would not be easy because Mary was expecting her child very soon, and she would be very uncomfortable both walking and riding their donkey. But there was nothing that could be done about it. They had to go, so they started on their journey, traveling day and sometimes through dark nights, which were lit only by bright stars.
Now we need some stars, adults or youth. We need about 6 people to be stars. Raise your hand if you'd like to be a star. Freya? Becky? Yes. Yep. Yes.
3
That's
more.
only 3. I need more. Robert. Alyssa. 1 more. Jerry.
Please stand in body or spirit and join us in singing the first verse of Song 246, O Little Town of Bethlehem. The words will be projected.
While Mary and Joseph were in Bethlehem, the time came for Mary to have her baby. But there was no room in the inn, which was the only place with comfortable beds. Joseph looked everywhere, but the only place he could find for Mary to give birth to the baby was a stable behind the inn, where there were 2 donkeys, 3 mice, 1 ram, 4 cows, and an ox.
So we now need 3 mice, 2 donkeys, a ram, 4 cows, and an ox. 3 mice. Sarah, Ezra, Chris. 2 donkeys. Elise, Miles, a ram. Ryan, 4 cows. Want to be a cow? You be a red cow with red spots. Cow. Sarah. Luke. Luke's mom can be the ox. No disrespect.
Nothing like getting voluntold on a Sunday morning.
I'm not sure if I got all the cows, but we're good.
Could the travelers make use of this place and sleep with the animals? It would give them at least some cover and protection from the cold wind.
The animals welcomed Mary and Joseph into the stable, and the animals were even kind enough to give up their hay-filled manger so the baby could have a bed. Thus, Mary gave birth to her firstborn child in a simple stable, surrounded by animals, and wrapped him up in bands of cloth and placed him in the manger. Please stand in body or spirit and join in singing song number 243, Jesus our Brother, and the words will be projected.
In that region, there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flocks by night. Now we need one large shepherd, meaning an adult. We should rephrase that for next year.
Or older youth.
Jack. 2 small shepherds. There we go. One, I need another one. Another small shepherd. We got 2?
Got Dax.
Dax and one other. Yes, go ahead, Patrick. Yep. We need 6 little sheep. You want to be a sheep? No? Okay. That's fair. I need 6 sheep.
Kay.
Marianne? Carol? Mary Beth, sorry. Who else? That's 3.
Anne.
Sheila. One more? Yeah, go ahead.
Just remember, not everybody can be the star at the end. I know some of you are holding out. Now that very night, in an open field, out on a hillside, a mile or so from the town, a few shepherds were standing around a blazing fire. Some were sleeping, while others kept sharp watch of every moving thing on the hillside, lest a wolf sneak up in the dark and climb the wall into the sheepfold.
But it was not a wolf that surprised these shepherds that night. A shining angel suddenly flew down from the sky and lighted on the ground beside them. So now I need 1 angel, an older angel,
Ella, you can be the older angel.
and 4 little angels.
1, 2, 3, 4. As our angels are getting ready, please stand in body or spirit and join in singing the first 2 verses of hymn 237, the first Noel.
Then an angel of the Lord stood before the shepherds, and this angel was truly magnificent, and the glory of the Lord shone around the shepherds, and they were terrified. But the angel said unto them,
Do not be afraid. For I am bringing you good news of great joy to all the people. Born today in the city of David is a Savior. He's the Messiah, the Lord. You will find a child wrapped in a cloth and lying in a manger.
And suddenly, with the angel, there were a multitude of angels.
So everyone please join with the angels in saying,
Glory to God in the highest heaven, and peace on earth, goodwill among all people everywhere. Then the angels left the shepherds and seemed to go right up to the heavens.
over there.
This way, up by the stars.
And the shepherds said to one another,
Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place, which the angel has made known to us.
Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 231, Angels We Have Heard on High.
So the shepherds went quickly to Bethlehem with their sheep, and there they found Mary and Joseph and the child lying in the manger, just as the angel had said it would be. When the shepherds saw this, they told everyone what the angel had said to them about this newborn child, and everyone who heard their story was amazed. But Mary kept all these things and treasured them in her heart. And so the shepherds and sheep knelt too, around the manger, glorifying and praising God for all the wonders they have heard and seen, as it had been told to them.
After Jesus was born in Bethlehem, wise persons who were kings and queens from the far east came to Jerusalem. We need 8 wise people to go to the costume area. Yes, Bree, you nailed it. Yes. I'm sorry, I can't see back there. Yes, Max. Amelia, Chris. Yes, yes, yes. I think that's 8. Is that 8?
I think
All
so.
right.
So that night, as these wise people were sitting on the roof watching the sky, they saw a new bright star where they never had seen one before. And they wondered what it meant. What important event just happened somewhere on the earth? And one of them thought a child had been born who was going to be a very great and good man. The wise people learned from the king about a prophecy which had been spoken long ago, that the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem.
Now, we need an awesome volunteer to be our special star. I know you all are awesome, but come on now.
Steph. And there, ahead of the wise people, went the star that they had seen when it first appeared in the east. So the wise persons set out for Bethlehem. So, star back there. Stop there. So the wise persons set out for Bethlehem.
Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star in the skies, and we have come to praise him and bring him gifts.
While our wise people continue their search, please remain seated and join us in singing hymn 259, We Three Kings of Orient Are.
When the wise persons saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy and entered into the stable. There they saw the child with his mother, and they knelt down and brought out gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh, which they had brought with them. Each night a child is born as a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping.
Now that we have gathered our whole nativity scene, let us pause for a moment. Look at this awesome scene. It is a special night with stars and angels and shepherds and wise persons and many animals, and they are all witness to a special birth. No doubt the birth of Jesus over 2,000 years ago in the stable in Bethlehem looked a little different than this. No doubt our sanctuary is a little finer than that small, dirty stable. But the love and the mystery and the wonder that we see here is no different from the awe that there was at the time of Jesus' birth. As our complete cast holds their space in this nativity scene, let us celebrate the love and wonder of this story by singing hymn number 245, Joy to the World. Please rise in body or spirit.
Just take a breath right now.
Giving of our treasure is how we reciprocate the many gifts we are given by this community. Your contributions support the programs and operations of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church. Giving is also how we live our values in the world. Each month we share our offerings with an organization nominated by the congregation and selected by the special offering team. In the month of November, our shared plate recipient is NAMI DuPage. The organization was nominated by DUUC member Suzanne Gowdy. The mission of NAMI DuPage is to provide support, advocacy, and education in order to improve the quality of life of individuals with mental illness and their families. This morning's offering to support the work of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church and NAMI DuPage is given and received in a spirit of generosity and gratitude.
A tradition that has been held at this church for many years is our mitten tree. We start with a bare tree and decorate it with mittens and gloves and scarves and hats. And these items are then given to children whose families might not be able to afford them otherwise. At this time, we're going to decorate the mitten tree as well as our collection. If you brought any items to donate, please line up to decorate the tree. We will decorate our tree and take the offering during the same time. The offering is given and received in a spirit of generosity and gratitude.
May the candles that we light this holiday season remind us of the glowing love within each of our hearts. May the carols we sing uplift our spirits and renew our hope and our vision. May the special moments we spend with family and friends strengthen the bonds of caring between us at this time and throughout the coming year.
I'd like to remind you that we have cookies and hot chocolate out in Creeps Hall after the service, and a special visit from Santa at about 11:15. So be sure to stick around for that, and you'll be able to sit on Santa's lap, little ones. Maybe some of the big ones. We'll see. Unfortunately, I have a prior engagement, so I won't be here, so I want to wish you a Merry Christmas now. So please join me in extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish the light of this chalice, but not the light in our hearts. Until we meet again, may the warmth of our community carry you.